Hello! Hey folks, it's time for another Lunchtime Throwdown. We haven't done one of these in a little while. So if you don't know, I am a lead designer on a depths-themed board game. Hey Tim! You want to play?
No, I gotta go be a grown-up.
Okay, Tim's got to go be a grown-up. So we are scarfing down some lunch and playing a board game while we do it. And I'm going to explain the rules to Mr. Fellerelli right here. So let's just get going. If you may have seen the in our most recent newsletter, the sort of presentation I put together about this, and you can now see some of the art from that presentation in action. Go for it. All right. So, all right, from the get-go. Now, AJ's played this before, but he can use a refresher. And you've never played this. You have no idea about this.
Nothing.
Okay, so 1 versus X card battling board game. We were delvers. One of us, as we delved through that place of living horror known as the depths, became so corrupted by its evil power that they were transformed into a grubbly, horrifying monster. The stand-in for that will be Vinyl Cthulhu. Having been transformed into a servant of the depths, that person has turned on the rest of us. And this is the epic battle as we are trying to. They are trying to kill all the delvers and enslave their souls to the depths, and the delvers are trying to slay the servant of the depths. So one of us, and I think AJ wants to try out this new bad guy, which might be totally broken. So let's try it out. It's a bit of a learning curve on that. You and I will choose a delver to play as. And then we're going to get some cards. Now, these are some minis from other board games. We don't have, we haven't, made any of our own minis yet. These are health dials. So in order to kill each other, we're going to be playing cards and dealing damage to each other. There are a few other things to get through here. So first of all, in order to start playing, you and I are going to pick a race and a archetype, class archetype. There you go. Remember how those work?
Yes.
Cool. So here's the races you can pick from, and here are the class archetypes you can pick from. You're going to take the cards, you're going to take some cards from each, and you're going to shuffle them together. This is kind of a light form of deck building, known as shuffle building in some circles. You're going to shuffle them together to form your deck for the game. So you get a certain amount of customizability. Brand says go easy on him. All right, well, we'll see about that. We're going to fight AJ, so I don't know if I'm going to go easy on AJ. Okay, so you're playing a Valkyrie Archer. Nice choice. I will play an Arthurian Human. I think I'll go Heavy Fighter just for kicks. All right, so if you take out your cards, you'll see that there is a sort of identity card, right? Just set those to the side. They list the cards in the deck, so that, that's helpful for cleanup later. Then there are, in your class cards, there are 3 basic actions: move, punch, and bandage. So set those out face up in front of you. Okay. These are actions that are available to you at any time. They will not be discarded when played like most actions. Then there's a whole bunch of cards for your class. There's some blood cards, which I'll explain in a moment. And there's your race cards. So shuffle all of those together. You've now formed the deck that you'll be using for this game. Let me give you a quick anatomy of a card. So as I mentioned, these are always available. The cards in your deck, as you might expect, are going to be more powerful in general. You can also build up combos. It's a very important part of this game, and unleash them for great destruction. So, let me give you a quick anatomy of a card. So here's the name of the card. And actually we have art for this, but I've changed some of the text, so that would be out of date. But here's the title of the card. That is the blood cost of the card, which I'll explain in a moment. Then there are two keywords. These are the components of the card, which interact with certain game effects. Certain cards will have like a bonus if you've played rune cards, for example. So this is rune and attack are the components of this card. Range is 3, which interacts with the board, as you might expect. And then there's the effect of the card. And at the bottom in smaller text is what deck it goes into when we put everything back together at the end. And by the way, folks, although this game is pretty fast, since we're starting not at the start of lunch here, we are probably not going to finish this game. But that's okay. We'll still get some fun data out of it. So let me explain the blood cost. So you have in your deck blood cards ranging from blood 1 to blood 2 to blood 3. You will play those from your hand in order to give you blood in your blood pool. You can spend blood from your blood pool, much like mana, to play a card from your hand as an action. Playing a blood is not an action. Playing an action card is an action. You can divide up, various blood cards. If they all played from your hand, they add to your blood pool. It's not an action to play them. Your blood pool empties at the end of each player's turn. So if you were to put blood in your blood pool during someone else's turn, which you can do because you can play blood cards at any time, it would empty at the end of their turn. Oh, hey. Wasn't sure if you were going to be able to join us.
Is it too late to join? Or can I just watch?
I don't know. I have started the explanation.
Oh, it's okay.
Things got, yeah. All right. I'm definitely going to get you next time.
Yeah.
Okay. You might be able to play. Here, pick a...
Have you ever played? No. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll just watch.
Here, pick a race and class.
Okay.
From those... This is races, this is classes.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so, action cards, blood cards. When you play the action card, it has some effect. You get 3 actions on your turn. Now, again, any number of blood cards, 3 actions, including your basic actions. So you could move, play a card from your hand, move again, switch it up however you like. You get 3 actions per turn. So you're going to put your race and class cards together, but remove these and your basic cards. There's punch, move, and bandage. All right. Let's see. Range. So there's a range stat on the action cards. On the board, you see there are these walls. You don't have, you can't attack through walls. But you count range over the permeable border between spaces, which is these white lines. So these two are range 1, 2 from each other. Guys in the same space are range 0 from each other. So this card is range 3, so I could reach him there. I can reach him 1, 2, 3 there. He's too far away now. It is possible, however, to break walls, and then you get alternate ways of counting range that you can maybe possibly reach people with your cards. And that is mainly what you need to know. You're going to get a health dial. Pick a color.
Blue.
Blue.
Red.
Red. Green. Okay, I'm yellow. Turn that to 10.
I also turn it to 10.
Everybody turns it to 10. The way health works is you have your health dial. If it hits 0, you would die, but you have this wound token. And you're going to get 3 wound tokens. We are definitely not going to finish this game. When you hit 0 on your dial, you flip your healthy token to the wounded side. And that lets you reset it to 10. And if you're in the middle of taking damage, you'll continue taking damage. There's no way to flip it back to the healthy side. So you have essentially 20 HP, but not really, because you can actually overheal up to 12. So your base HP is 10, but you can always overheal up to 12, which gives healers something to do, even when people haven't taken damage. And if you hit 0 and you're already wounded, you are dead. And then people can steal your blood to play their cards, which you might want to help them do. All right, so we are just about ready to get started. The one other thing to note is there's terrain. You see these symbols on the board. When you move onto a space where there's a symbol but no terrain there yet, you'll draw a terrain card from that category, and that will contain the rules and you'll get a random terrain in that location. And the terrain, the interaction between the terrain and the cards is a big part of the strategy of this game. So, to begin the game, AJ is going to take these terrain tokens. It's going to get a random one each of these cards.
All new art. It's pretty.
Yeah, pretty, huh? Yeah. And he's going to look at them, and since he is the servant of the depths aids him, and he gets to start the board. He gets to start the game knowing certain aspects, certain terrain on the board. All right. Do you want me to try and catch you up, or just watch this time?
No, I just watch.
Okay. Well, that means you'll know the rules more or less for next time.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Any questions?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, sweet. Shuffle up your cards. He is setting up the... oh, well, if you're not going to play yet, you don't have to shuffle them. I'm checking the chat. AJ's the servant. Oh, we're screwed. Yeah, I guess we are. All right. Just dump them all out. All that pretty art.
I like the art.
I know. Kara, and with some assistance from Michelle, has been doing an amazing job.
Where is this freaking thing?
Okay. Now he's going to place some terrain tokens face down on the board. When you move on to a space with a face down terrain token, it's just like drawing that card. You're immediately going to have to flip it over and suffer. Often it's a suffer the effects, because this is the depths, and it is a place of malevolent evil.
Where do we start?
You and I. Oh yeah, you and I should pick a miniature. So, what are you playing as?
I'll take this one.
All right. I'll be this guy. I'm a heavy fighter after all. All right. And you and I can draw, or he's going to draw as well, 6 cards to begin the game. And hopefully you've shuffled real well, because you want your blood to be well spread out throughout the deck.
Oh, and then did you ever explain the event cards? Or I guess we can just do those.
We'll get to those when we very soon. So no worries. All right, these are the face down cards.
Yes.
Okay, let's put those near the board so we have them handy. All right, so he knows something about the board. You're going to put your miniature down first.
Okay.
Now he can put it on any space. You and I, after he places, are going to put our miniature down on any edge space.
And then do I
and
go
we can pick
first
the same spaces.
when we start out?
No,
Or
we'll
you
go
guys
first. We'll go
Okay.
first.
I'll put my guy over here.
Everybody's also going to draw one face-down armor token. You don't need to know how they work just yet, because you can trigger your armor when you take damage. All right. So you're starting there? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, now you and I have to pick a starting location. As an archer, you like to keep your distance. As a Valkyrie, Valkyrie makes a pretty good archer. You have ways of moving around and manipulating blood. So you and I got to pick any edge space. We can pick the same space. We can pick different spaces. I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm the heavy fighter, I want to start as close to the bad guy as possible. So let's see if he successfully manipulated me, because I'm going to hit that, flip this over, and that says condition Waters of Forgetfulness. So I'm going to be flipping this over. There we go, Waters of Forgetfulness. So this has multiple effects. On entry, no effect. Now I count as entering. Then it has a passive. As an action that does not count against your actions at a turn, you may discard your hand and draw that many cards. So it's actually kind of a beneficial space, which is nice. So I get to start nice and close to him. Where do you want to start? All right. You're going to start very far away indeed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, you and I are going to be going first. We are starting the game proper now. My rules explanation took about 10 minutes. And set up. Okay. Let's see.
That's you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the monster.
Okay. So you're starting your turn?
I am starting my... Right. So first of all, deal one face down to each of us. Okay, so these are your event... This is an event card that he has another power from the depths. Now it starts the other side. These are nasty things that you have to trigger before your turn ends. So you can do it at the start, which lets you deal with it, potentially. You could trigger it at the end, so it has less chance of messing up your plans. You could do it between any action. I am going to trigger this... I'm not going to trigger it yet, because I want to be able to do stuff. I'm going to take the risk. So, I am going to, as my first action, play Noble Purpose, which is a stance card. So it says place this stance card in front of you. Stances, you can only have one stance out. They stay out in front of you and continue to have an effect, so that's going to help me out. And then I'm going to, as my second, so that's one action, playing that. My second action is moving into your space. And my third action is going to be, I'm just going to go ahead and start things off right. Dropping 3 blood, which goes into my discard pile. And playing Mightiest of the Mighty. You may break a wall that borders a space in range and deal 5 damage to a character in range. It's only range 0, but that's why I went in your space.
Okay, I'm going to use an armor token.
And I'm going to smash open
I block 1 damage.
this wall. So that counts as a white line now.
So I took 4.
Oh, yes. So he took damage. He chose to take it on his armor. That means he flips over his armor token, which blocks some amount of damage, and he's put that in the discard pile. My turn is now over, but before it ends, I have to trigger my event. So these double as a kind of turn tracker. You know you haven't. You know who hasn't taken a turn because they have event cards. So Shroud of Evil. If the Delvers all immediately agree to discard 2 cards at random, they may each gain +1 armor. Nice. So you could get another armor token. If they do not, the Servant of the Depths gains +1 armor per Delver currently alive. Maximum is 6. So either we discard cards and get an armor token, or...
I'll discard.
All right. It's got to be at random, so... Oh, boy. Well, hang on, because I have to agree to this, too. We have to work together here. Fair enough. Oof. I don't know. These are pretty good cards. But you know what? It's probably better to not give him more armor. So, all right, let's do it. I'll just discard both of these.
All right.
Not that one.
And then
That goes in your discard pile. Usually next to the deck. Face up. And since that has no Maw token, that goes on the bottom of the deck.
okay.
If it has a Maw symbol on it, that means you can bring it back with the Maw.
Okay. And I get Maul when I get wounded.
That's right.
Okay.
You flip it over to the open side when you're wounded. All right, so since I emptied my hand, I'm actually, as the next player takes their turn, I do reset my hand, which lets me discard some cards, no cards to discard, and then draw until I have 6. So I'm drawing back up to 6, and you're taking your turn.
I'm going to do this first.
All right. I have cards now.
Rush of Abominations. All Delvers may immediately discard an attack card from their hand. If they do not pay all this cost, all Delvers take 3 damage, and the servant heals points equal to the number of Delvers currently alive.
Ouch. So we got to either discard an attack card, and you've already discarded 2 randomly. Or what if he heals?
He already heals.
I would heal 2, right?
And we take 3.
Each of you take 3.
Ouch. Well, what do you think? I don't love. I have a really good combo that I don't want to lose. So I'm actually willing to take the damage and
okay with
let
me.
him heal.
Okay.
All right. So since we're taking 3 damage, you could choose to take it on your armor, which will block some random amount of damage and maybe be discarded, maybe do something else. I'm going to take it on the armor. Block 1 damage and discard. Well, that's not very exciting. All right, so I only take 2, though. All right, so take your turn.
I'll play 3 blood. And Deadeye Shot.
And hopefully you're in range now.
Ah, I can break a wall.
Ah, nice. So which wall are you breaking?
This one right here.
All right.
So now that I'm in range,
Smash.
he'll take 2 damage.
Okay.
Is it?
Okay.
I can move though, right?
You have 2 actions remaining to you. So you can move, you can trigger any of these, you can play another card from your hand.
Can I bandage twice?
If you read bandage...
Oh, once per turn. Okay, so I'll move here, so I get to
Alright.
flip one of those suckers. Shuffle a poison card into your deck.
Ooh.
What's it called?
Verdant Horrors.
It's a condition.
Yeah.
Passive heals used
Flip
from
them
this
all over.
place give +1 healing.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That'll actually help if you bandage
That's
right
why
now.
I'm gonna.
But first you have to shuffle that into your deck. That could come back and bite you later. There it is. Alright, so there are verdant horrors in this space now.
Do you want this somewhere?
Just near the board. We can pass it around to read the rules. That's
Okay.
meant to be
And then I'll
convenient.
bandage, so I'll heal for 2.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
So
And then you'll be drawing up to 6.
Do I discard this card?
You can. You can discard up to 2 cards and then draw until you have 6. So I didn't mention this, but we can actually change up the order of play.
Okay.
So it's basically you and I each get a turn in any order, and then he gets a turn.
Is AJ the monster?
AJ is a new monster. Newish.
So I will take my poison damage.
Right. So you immediately got the poison.
Which counteracted the extra healing.
It does.
Hey, I'm still
But
one up.
poison actually says draw another card.
okay. You guys ready?
Does this go in my discard now?
Yep.
So
You're
I get
poisoned
it forever.
unless some effect removes it. And there are effects that can, mainly the devout.
So I'm going to lay down 2 blood and play Shrieking of Many Mouths. Whenever you leave an enemy's space this turn, or if they leave your space, deal 1 damage to them. move enemies in range up to 1 space, move up to 1 space. So is that 3 different things I can do, or is that 3 things I do?
Unless it says or. If it says choose one, then you can only choose one. Otherwise, you get them all.
Okay.
In order.
So, whenever I leave an enemy space this turn, that's like for the whole turn. Move enemies in range up to 1 space. So I'm going to move you into here.
Okay, into this mystery, which is acidic ooze.
Yes.
Okay.
So you deal 1 damage, or +1 damage, or do +1 damage.
So flip the acidic ooze, which the text of has gone through many edits. What do you think it does?
Characters in the space both deal and take +1 damage. So you would take +1 damage. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you just left my space, so that's 2 damage.
Okay. So it would be 1, but it's increased, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to take that.
And then I can then move up to 1 space, which is fine, yeah. And then I'm going to...
The sneaking scorpion is rushing me.
Let's see. So I'm going to play 1 blood and then Veil's Dark Embrace. And then it's whenever you move a number of spaces a turn, you may move +1 space. So I've moved once. And then, so I can move twice because of this card. Move up to 1 space. So I'm going to leave here, do another 2 damage to you.
Okay.
And then,
ouch.
Does that count as, now I have, that counts as another space that I moved, right? So now I can move 3 times at the end of my turn?
If it says at the end of your turn, I don't think that's what it says.
Okay, okay. So,
Until the end of your turn, I think is what it says.
okay. And then I'm going to move back. And
Wow.
then I can then deal 2 damage to all enemies in range. So you're in range, and
Oh,
then
man.
+1, so that's 3.
3 damage. Ow, I have been brutalized.
And that was only 2 actions, I think.
I think you're right.
So,
The sneaking scorpion is destroying me.
so let's see. Then I'm
That
gonna
little jig he just danced.
Yeah, this is a new monster.
use
I,
Skittering Sneak,
Haven't playtested very much.
and then I'm going to move out, so that's another 2 damage to you. And then I'm
Okay.
going to move over here.
All right, so I am wounded. So I was at 1. I took 2 damage. So now I'm going up to 10 when I flip this, and then down to 9 because I took 2 when I was at 1.
And then I think I have 1 more like space I can move because of this Veil's Dark Embrace.
But you're not going to use it.
Can I use it?
You
I
can.
I'm gonna use it.
All right.
Go right here.
So you smacked me and then ran into the shadows, just like a sneaking
Exactly.
scorpion is supposed to do. All right, so you've played all those cards, so they're going in your discard pile. At the end of the round, or at the top of the round, you're going to deal out the event cards. So we get a face-down event card. And now it's our turn. So do you want to go first, or shall I?
Go ahead.
Okay, so that hurt. Let's see. Does anyone know what time it is? Yeah, we have some time. Okay. Damn. Okay. All right. So fortunately, the Arthurian is going to give me some range. So I'm going to be able to poke you at a distance. I'm going to proclaim the edicts, which will deal 2 damage, and the range is 3. So 1, 2, 3.
So that's plus.
You thought you got away from me, but you didn't.
So that's 2 damage,
That is 2 damage to you.
and then +1 because.
And +1 because I'm standing on the acidic ooze, the 2-edged sword that both it makes me take more and lets me deal more. That also gives me an armor. And then I am going to be triggering my noble purpose, discarding that to put that back in my hand. That's not an action. That's just a stance effect from the Arthurian. Then I'm going to play that card again to do 2 damage to you, which is 3 damage because of this, again.
I'm wounded.
Yes! But you have multiple wounds.
Yes.
So you're not as close to death as it may seem. That gives me another armor. And finally, I'm going to play I'm just piling on the armor here as heavy fighter should. Bloody Steel. Bloody Steel is a heavy fighter stance that when I play it, it gives me an armor, in addition to other armor effects. So now I have lots of armor. And that's the end of my turn, because that was 3 actions. So I am all done. Oh, wait, I have to flip this. Dark Inspiration. The Servant of the Depths must reveal their top card and immediately put it in their hand or play it at no cost.
I show you guys.
Yep, so reveal that.
Strike from darkness.
Okay, that looks nasty. As a group, so that's you and I, the Delvers may contribute to paying total blood greater than that card's cost or blood value, if any, to cause the servant to discard the card with no effect. What's its cost?
1 blood.
So if you and I contribute 2 blood together, then we can make him discard that card. You think it's worth it? I've got one also. All right. So we prevented that, but we lost some blood. All right. That's fine. We'll take it. Does it have a Maw symbol? No?
No.
Okay. So that is the end of my turn. As I draw my cards, it's your turn.
So movement is 1 action, right? 1.
Yeah, it's
2.
your basic action.
Right. So I move twice.
Okay. That's 2 actions.
Then
He is range 3 from you.
I'm going to play Tracer Shot. I guess I need to put the blood down, so there's 2 blood for that.
Right.
Tracer Shot, range 3. He'll take 2 damage, and the next weapon card I play gets +1 range and +1 damage if it's an attack card. Right?
Right.
So you take 2.
Okay.
I'll play Quick Shot, range 2, gets +1 and +1 damage, so you take 2 more damage,
Okay.
and that doesn't count against my actions.
Okay.
And that's all my actions, right?
2
movements.
Did you play 2 actions by accident?
I
No,
played.
quick shot doesn't count.
Oh, quick shot doesn't count.
Doesn't count, right? So 2 moves, this and that.
Yep.
Boom.
You're all done.
And then your event, you have to play your event card.
You still have to trigger your event card.
This.
We should have done that before.
Yeah.
So he is in range through this broken wall. So 1, 2,
it's
3.
not himself.
And we forgot to do the trigger the terrain. when you
Deep
walked in.
Darkness. On entry, no effect. Passive. This space counts as +1 for counting range, not movement, into or out of.
Did that prevent you from playing your cards?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Bum, bum, bum.
I'm not used to the new art.
I should
funny.
just get a wound back in. It's fine.
Oh, there it is. Deep Darkness. So that messed up your turn.
A little bit.
Should we continue or?
We don't. Well, what could you? Can you do anything now? that you've
I
moved
would
in?
have just bandaged twice if I couldn't do that.
You can only bandage once.
Well, I would have just bandaged.
But yes. Okay. You didn't take that damage. He wandered into some darkness.
How much damage?
Do I get these cards back then?
4?
Yeah.
How
Take
much
those
damage?
back. And then instead I will trace, where's my stance? Stance. Memory of Pain.
There you go. You might want to hold that in your hand because of the way that card works.
Oh yeah, I'll hold on to that one.
And your blood. Okay. So just going to bandage.
So I'll bandage, so I go up 1. And then
Event.
Dreadful Bidding. It does not sound fun. The Servant of the Depths may immediately pay any amount of blood and deal 4 damage to all Delvers, and then draw back up to 6 cards in his hand. The Delvers, as a group, negate this damage by immediately paying a greater amount of blood in total.
Very
Then it
nice.
has a little maw symbol. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So
that's
that
a
means he can
problem.
bring it back later.
Yes.
Potentially.
So.
Right.
Get wrecked, nerds.
I really don't use that much blood on this guy, so I'm gonna put up. Can I, if you guys counter me with the blood, can I counter
No.
you guys back? No.
No, it's
You
just
get
one bid. But you do get to draw those cards up again.
Yeah.
You draw back
if
up
he's countering, he's
6.
just shit out of luck, right?
Well, except that he draws back up and we don't.
So I get my blood back if you guys give me back. Wait.
No, read the card.
Delvers may as a group negate this damage by removing a greater amount of blood. Oh, wait.
You draw
Oh, okay, I see.
back up to 6.
I see.
Even
So
if
I'm
you guys
going to lay
counter it?
down.
Yeah.
You guys probably have so much blood.
Well, oh yeah, because he didn't actually spend it.
I didn't spend any blood.
All right, I'll lay down 4.
You can still make us lose our blood. Okay, so now we have to outbid him. So we have to pay 5 between the two of us.
Yeah, one.
I really don't want to because
I
my
can
hand
pay
is
5.
amazing. You can just pay the 5? Awesome. That'll let me be amazing later.
And then I draw to 6.
You don't.
No, you don't. It's
Yeah, I
hard.
don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's the end of
but
my turn.
I draw 2 more cards.
Ah, you do. That was fortuitous.
Okay. Ooh, nice.
Hopefully.
Nice.
Nope, not fortuitous. You spent some good blood cards there. But you preserved my hand, which is amazing.
And I didn't kill you.
All right.
Oh, right. That would have taken... Oh, right. That would have been 5 damage to me.
Exactly.
4 to you. Yeah, that could have been bad. But I do have armor tokens, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. So
So now it's his turn. Did you draw the cards that you...
Mhm.
You know? Okay.
So I'm going
6.
to use. Okay. I'm going to lay down 3 blood, use Rush of the Shadows. I can teleport up to 3 spaces. And then, so I'm going to go to you. And then I deal 4 damage to you. This does
Okay.
3. This does +1.
Okay, I am triggering an armor. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This one. It's just a block 1.
And
All
also,
right, so I'm taking 3.
no,
okay.
you're taking 4 because this gives me another +1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I am hurt.
Yep.
I'm hurt.
And then, so I'm going to.
Yeah, if we never make it to Max's turn, it doesn't matter that he has blood.
This is true.
So I'm going to.
That's how this game goes.
Relentless Hunger. Deal 1 damage to enemies in range and move them up to 1 space. So deal 2 damage to you.
Okay.
Then I'm going to move you here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to move
How much did you do to me?
2.
Okay.
And then I'm
Do
going
it.
to move
Do
you
it.
here.
Triggering the armor. Oh, that's a block 2. I take nothing.
And then I deal another damage to you, and then I can move you up to another space. So I'm going to
How
deal
much?
1 more damage and then move you
Okay.
back.
All right, this damage isn't increased because you deal damage and then move?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just taking 1?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to use an armor on that. Ow.
All right, then I'm going to lay down Scuttle of Searing Pain, move up to 1 space, and I'm going to move in here.
Oh, no.
Then deal 2 damage to enemies in range.
This is your 3rd action, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to do 3 damage to you.
Oh, okay. I am triggering my armor. Block 2. Okay, I got some block 2s.
So lucky.
All right, so I'm just going to take 1 instead of 3.
And then
Yeah, you're grinding me out.
I can move up to 1 space. Ah, dang it. All right, whatever. Let's see.
I am hurt. I'm at 3 HP with no armor and wounded.
That's what you get for going into a dungeon without a healer.
I'm going to move.
Yeah,
How much health do you have?
I have 3.
Oh, okay.
All right. So it is now just past the end of lunch. So
We win.
I said we were going to finish the game. I don't
We have to
know.
play rock, paper,
I don't know
scissors.
which way it would have been a close game because I'm about to die. But I'm going to hurt him first and have some armor. So then he's going to have to try to kill me
Well, he's still
and
got
then
20 health,
finish
right?
you.
Yeah, I still have 20 health.
Well, technically. But remember, I'm going to hurt him. I would have dealt a pretty good chunk of damage and gotten some armor. I probably could have done. He has no armor, so I could have done probably 5 damage on my turn, and picked up enough armor to make it hard for you to kill me, to finish me off, and then it would have been you and the archer. So who knows what would happen?
Where is the poison deck?
It's over here.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys very, very much. That was a good playtest, and it's fun using all of this with art, right?
Oh, is this the first time with art?
It's been developed. You know, using more art each time.
This is all new.
That's all new.
These
Yeah.
cards.
Yep. And probably next time I'll have even more. So pretty cool. Pretty fun to use this stuff. Thank you guys for playtesting.
It's fun.
All right. And I will see you folks later. I will see you for Morning with Max tomorrow morning. So come by for that. And our end of week wrap up and Q&A tomorrow afternoon. This has been the Depths board game playtest, Lunchtime Throwdown. But lunch is over, so we got to get back to work on other things. All right. See you later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.